And away we go. No win in 2023 for West Ham United, so a visit of Chelsea. Will they mind that? Laura Bassett.
Well, I think they're in game mode, aren't they? This is the 5th game in 15 games. They come thick and fast, and it's game mode on, ready to go and win again. That's their mindset. That's the only mindset they know.
3 changes for West Ham from their defeat to Brighton, and a back 5. And Batisiak in full debut after making her debut from the bench back in April. The young Belgian in that back 3 with Sissoko and Fisk. Lucy Parker moved into midfield. And for Chelsea, 7 changes from that cup final. And what looks like a back 3 for this one.
Yeah, Buchanan, Carter and Eriksson, you know, this is a really small, tight pitch. You know, there's not a lot of, you know, depth and width to it, so you really have to maximise the most. And that's a way to keep your 3 centre-backs and then get your wide players nice and wide, and then Harder Kerr can work the spaces along with Chankovic, you know, Ingall and Fleming. Lots of energy finding the spaces where the West Ham defenders leave.
Shimizu, one of those brought into the side, and here's Parker. Wasn't able to keep hold of the ball. Lucy Parker. But for Paul Konchesky, and he said before this game in our pre-match interview with Jess Crichton that it's been a tough run since Christmas. And his side are still fighting, still believes they can pull out results. A big London derby, and they're ready for it. If you ever can be against this Chelsea side, who are right in their rhythm. Unfortunate not to get through their Champions League semi-final against Barcelona, but their eyes now on the prize. They've won so many times. Here's Carter, in the middle of that back 3. She goes to Charles. Fleming. Eriksson tries to play that ball forward towards Chankovic. Here's Kerr, and Kerr looking for Harder. Be interesting to see how those 2 superstars link up tonight. Essay may find herself a little isolated up front.
Yeah, she will. She's really important to this West Ham team. You know, I think out of possession, she has to be very patient. She sets the trap, and in possession, she's the one that they rely on.
All appeals from the Chelsea players. I think from the referee, Sissoko, perhaps the guilty party.
Well, she was in a good position. She shook her head as soon as it happened, but it'd be interesting to see it again. I mean, of course, the Chelsea players are going to appeal for it, aren't they?
Charles trying to get some purchase on that throw-in. Very attacking lineup from Chelsea.
Here it is. I mean, she's certainly, even from that angle, you can't see where this might be a better one. It's a tough one, isn't it? She's certainly going with her shoulder. Would have been a tough one to call for the referee.
But no penalty from Louis Saunders. And Harter. It's forceful style, a bit too forceful for the official. But what a return for her.
Oh, exactly. She's been sensational, hasn't she? The goals and the assists that she's chipped into, but also how she plays, her demeanour on the pitch. You know, she's only a slight player, but she grows, you know, just in her presence, what she expects, the standards, and then her athleticism, how strong, powerful she is. Here we go, taking a shot early. It's close, isn't it? The more you see it, the more you convince yourself that it might be a penalty. It would have been really tough.
Chelsea will have more chances, that's for sure. Parker. Shimizu. Full ball forward there. Evans furthest forward for West Ham briefly. And there's Dottit. Shimizu. Parker. Really pressurised by Fleming. Ball played into say he's offside. What about Parker in that midfield?
Yeah, I think Paul Konchesky's toyed with it, hasn't he, throughout the season. You know, we've seen her play centre-back, we've seen her play right-back and in centre midfield quite often. She's versatile, isn't she? She's athletically very good, quick, physical, strong in the tackle, but then also reads the game well. She can move, But it's different playing centre-back. You know, the game's in front of you. Playing in midfield, it's 360. You have to check your angles. So, you know, I'm sure, look, she wants to be playing. There's a World Cup round the corner, and it's anywhere you can play in the team, you can impress.
It might just be enough, that versatility, to get her into that World Cup squad with the injuries that England have at the back. And she has been part of 2 recent squads as well. Here's Buchanan. Buchanan again, interestingly, the right of that back 3. Crossed by Ingle. There's Dottir. A combative start from West Ham United. And the West Ham captain tonight, top scorer in the season as a whole, and one behind Asai in the WSL. Such an important part of this West Ham United side.
Well, she is. She's their leader, isn't she? She's, you know, she communicates, she gets people back in on shape, in their structure, make sure they're disciplined. You know, and that's so key when you have young players around you and maybe a team that are low in confidence. You know, you need those leaders and those vocal players.
Eriksson had time to play that, and Sissoko wants to go shoulder to shoulder with the attacker. Fisk didn't have that sort of time. Harder. Kerr's in the middle, but her international teammate, Mackenzie Arnold, intercepts the cross. And Arnold going towards Shimizu.
Well, I think that's a reminder, isn't it, for Fisk, that maybe when West Ham win back the ball, you know, so low, you know, it's time to move the ball, get it forward, play it into Asai, because Fleming, that's what she's good at, counter-pressing, winning the ball back so soon.
Buchanan. To Carter, momentarily swap places. Carter looking for Kerr, always alert. Winners Dottir. Asai. It's behind Evans, who made a smart run. Charles. Bit of time for Ingle. Trying to get it out to Harder. Eriksson. Into Cankovic. Harder. Now Charles. Ingle. Into Fleming. Good work from Fisk. Again, Cankovic already floating around, looking to pick her passes. Harder, plenty of touches for her so far. Buchanan. Haven't used Ristin Khanrid too much so far, Chelsea, but she's holding high and wide. Fleming. Getting their passing rhythm going here, Chelsea. Sam. Only set behind the ball. Now can they break quickly with Evans? Asai. Here's Tissia. And Arnold. Under pressure there, West Ham. Cankovic. Shimizu. Chelsea quick to press, quick to win it back. Here's Fleming. Kerr. Trying to get it across to Harder. Working this well, Chelsea. They find room for the shot. Ristin Khanrid. Harder. And cleared away by Shimizu.
It was really good, intelligent thinking. The quicker Chelsea can do things when maybe West Ham are out of shape, you know, that's when they can, maybe there's more space to exploit and get their shot off and get players higher up. The quicker they do take throw-ins, you know, make quicker passes, that's where they're likely to get in.
Well, Emma Hayes will be relatively pleased with the start. You can see there. She said it's been a lot for the players with all the games they've had in recent weeks. 7 changes since the FA Cup final, 75 in all this season. But she's got quite the squad to be able to do that. And she's going to need it. So there's no pressure on her side. Just need to stick to their task. She told Miss Crichton before kick-off today. Shimizu. Dottir. Well, let's say you get to this, and she took it. Did actually pretty well.
Really good spot, wasn't it? Good link-up play, and to take that first time on the volley, really intuitive. Good work by Shimizu. Dottir, she's always had a look, see who's in the 18-yard box, and that's a great effort. That would give her loads of confidence. You know, taking that on the volley, early doors, getting into the game, first shot on target for her.
Ingle, spread the play. Kirsty Smith seems to be quite deep so far. Jankovic to Ingle. Feed it through to Fleming. Arnold is looking for Dottir. Parker. Dottir. Parker again. Looking to go direct and looking for a run ahead of the ball. It's the pressure that Chelsea put you under.
Yeah, it is. You've got to make your decisions extremely fast. It looks like Buchanan's gone in there and in-game switch. You know, Buchanan's very comfortable on the ball, can dribble out, you know, very comfortable stepping into midfield.
One of the big signings for Chelsea at the start of this season. Top international for Canada. Has it been the perfect season for her? First season in the WSL. And with a big reputation.
Well, I'm sure there's been lots of learning for her. Look, coming to a new league, lots of differences, you know, lots of things to get used to, training at a new club, players around you. You know, I think she was injured as well, so, you know, a lot of things to contend with in your first season. But what a player to have in your team, in your squad.
Yeah, there's 5 games through injury recently. Charles's cross is cleared away by Sissoko. Eriksson. Fleming. Ingle into Kerr. Sissoko tried to win it but couldn't. Harder, what a pass, Ritik Conrad. Jankovic, Kerr, and surely there it is for Chelsea. It's not taken them long, and Niamh Charles opens the scoring tonight. The champions' football was too much for West Ham United there.
Really good move, wasn't it? It'd be great to see this again. Really good team play, the composure. You know, that ball centrally, it looked like, you know, Sissoko was all over it. Sam Kerr did so well here. It's rattled into her, but a good turn. But this ball from Harder, there you go. She waits that extra moment, a pull back, and then look how many Chelsea players are waiting. But Niamh Charles finished that in the moment. Keep a cool brain. But this ball here, she waits. There you go. And again, they're just queuing up, aren't they? You know, could the West Ham defenders get up to the ball instead of trying to block it where you are? Can you get up to the ball, but taking nothing away from Niamh Charles there? And what a moment for her. You know, 100th appearance for Chelsea, 100th in WSL appearance at the age of 23. She's been so crucial and so important for this Chelsea team this season. It's incredible.
An important goal for Chelsea. To open that scoring early on as well. Well, they already, with the scores level, would have been top of the table on goals scored, but they are top by 2 points as it stands, and they have the title in their own hands. We know this weekend is a massive weekend of fixtures, with Chelsea hosting Arsenal, and the Manchester clubs facing each other. Parker, a foul on Harder. And there you go, Manchester United, Manchester City. And for Manchester United, a must-win game for them, and the hope that Chelsea slip up at home to Arsenal, but it's so tight. And a Chelsea win tonight would knock Manchester City out of the title race. Which might be to Manchester United's advantage, conversely. Here's Carter. Jankovic. And they're moving now, they're flowing to Soko. Wasn't much of a tackle in there from the French defender. Conrad making that point. And that will be a corner. Interesting to see that again.
It will. It was such a free-flowing move, wasn't it? The intensity, the pace, the ease with which they go past the players. I don't think she gets much of the ball, does she? She leans into her. Here she goes. She's trying to match up her pace. But look, she just bumbles over. And again, the referee's in a good position. This has got to be a penalty for me. Look, she's pushing her over. There's no way, no attempt to get the ball. They've got away with one there, West Ham.
How quick Rittinkara it is. Chelsea corner. Looking for more. Strong start. Just away at the near post. The attitude that Chelsea have. They'll quickly forget about that and push on to try and score more goals in this game. Because as we saw from the table before, goal difference looks like it's going to be very important. Carter, not much space to operate in here. Still got decent distance though. Might drop to Harder. And Fleming. To Conrad again. Fleming. Now Buchanan. Eriksson. Eriksson again out to Ingle. It's Chelsea players to changing in their positions. It's difficult for West Ham to keep track. All these attacking players in this Chelsea side. Here's Harder. Charles. And now Ingle. I fancy the shot here. It's cleared away.
It just seems like there's a bit of panic now, doesn't it, in the West Ham defence? You know, when that ball gets delivered into the box, you know, they're just trying to get anything first contact, not thinking about how and when and where. You know, I know it's difficult, like you say, all these, the wave and wave of attack, you know, the calibre of attackers that's coming at you, you know, but there's got to be a little bit of a calmness and a confidence in the West Ham defenders to really try and, you know, be positive and be assured and back themselves with the actions that they do.
Yeah, strong start from Chelsea, dominating the ball so far. That West Ham attempt was an ambitious one from a save, which would have been one of the goals of the season.
They've really settled into the game, haven't they, Chelsea? I think early on they had a few scares. I think they were playing centrally a lot, you know, getting caught, playing into the pressing trap and losing the ball, but they've quickly learned from that. You know, we've seen a lot more of Rittinkara, haven't we, and Jankovic, those intelligent players that, you know how to find space, know how to move the West Ham defenders.
Here's Eriksson. Now Niamh Charles, whose goal separates the teams. Fleming. Fleming to Harder. And Harder inside to Fleming. Oh, they're linking up beautifully here. Fleming. Ball's still alive. And not quite, just ran out of room in the end, but nice football from Chelsea again.
It was quick, sharp, wasn't it? I was right behind Fleming. I thought she was going to shoot, and that's why she's a much better player than me. But what a good link-up that is with Sam Kerr. Unfortunately, just fizzles out, but this is sharp. This is how it's going to beat the West Ham defenders. They've got so many back there, but that type of play is going to beat. Here's the goal. Those pullbacks, isn't it? So key.
And a sharp finish from Niamh Charles, who scored in this fixture last season. Shot, a long-range shot from distance, from memory. We did that game, I think, Laura?
Yeah. Your memory's better than mine.
4-1 victory for Chelsea on that occasion. And 2 goals for Pernille Harder on that occasion, who's had a strong start here. Buchanan. Musovic, Chelsea changing their goalkeeper all season. Berger starting the cup final, Musovic this league game. Charles looking for the pace of Harder here, but Fisk backing herself to get there. Eriksson is going to drop to Harder. Shields the ball so well. Chelsea will be happy. They have that early goal, have control of the game. Just haven't been able to offer too much in attack so far. Here's Ingle. Already plenty of touches for Cankovic. Ingle. Again, picking up that pocket of space and driving forward. Oh, that wasn't that. Had an effort from Cankovic.
Great play, isn't it? Picking up a great position in between the midfield line, behind the midfield line, in front of the back line, and there she's driving. What I like about this is she's already scanned, she's already assessed the option. Where's Harder? Who else is in front of me? And it does, it just opens up, and this is close. You know, why not have a strike from the box, from outside the box? You know, it just keeps Mackenzie Arnold on her toes now, that could be a possibility the next time.
Yeah, Cankovic 4 goals this season, her first season with Chelsea.
I mean, West Ham just can't get anywhere near, can they? I mean, yeah, they've got their shape, they've got the structure, they're moving across the pitch well, but the only one really competing and fighting for the ball is Sissoko. When it gets played into Sam Kerr's feet, Sissoko's really getting aggressive, getting up tight, front-footed. But anyone out, it's really just shadow play, isn't it? It's just, you know, very passive.
West Ham know if they do try and hold a high line, try and push up on Chelsea, they're asking for trouble as well. Fleming. Ingle. There's Sissoko jumping out to try and get that ball off Kerr. She may have caught her. Just limping a little bit, the Australian. Moving again, and in that penalty area waiting for the ball. Ingle. And Fleming. And Parker. That's nicely done from Parker, and that's even better. They should look for a save. And it's just too much on it, and lacking support, really. That's the problem the West Ham have in this game.
That's right, good work by Lucy Parker, really good feet, read the situation really well, and that's the out ball to Asai has got to be inch perfect. You know, it's got to be inch perfect onto her feet, then she's got to hold it up, and like you say, she could become isolated.
Oh, the challenge going in there from Asai. Probably a little bit of frustration in that tackle.
Jess Carter's coming out with a ball. Just give her a nudge first of all, doesn't she? And then goes through Jess Carter's leg to get to the ball.
Two internationals going toe-to-toe. Here's Buchanan. So many players on this pitch likely to feature in the World Cup. Charles losing the ball. Here's Parker. Shimizu, will she get there? Just eased off it by Charles. Strong play from Niamh Charles. Here's Parker. Passes that ball straight to Kerr, and off she goes. And driving forward, Sam Kerr. And has support as well. And there's Harder! What a save from Arnold to keep it at 1-0.
That's a fantastic save, isn't it? Absolutely great save by Mackenzie Arnold. But again, look at this. Look how sharp Sam Kerr reads the play. She anticipates, and then there's only thing she's driving forward. You know, Kate Longhurst, I think she's tried to pull her down there, but conscious that she'd get a yellow card. But again, for Pernille Harder to time that run, to hit it first time. And then that's a great save. Wonderful save by Mackenzie Arnold and a great effort by Pernilla Harder. She knows that if she has a touch, it'll probably get taken off her.
Arnold keeping West Ham in the game for now. Jankovic. And it went to the back post and just about get it away, but not far enough. She'll be able to come again. Room for Carter in that penalty area. Buchanan goes long. Again, it's Eriksson this time appealing.
It's so difficult, isn't it, for the referee to spot everything, to see every holding, blocking. You know, here we've got the luxury. Oh, that, for me, she's gone down far too easy then. I'm not too sure there's anything in that.
Then shortly after that, Eriksson going down. Evans. Good header from Asay. Evans, Brasdottir's free in the middle with a flag's gone up. How tight was that?
Yeah, my instinct was that it was offside, but it'd be interesting to see another view. Good link up. Lisa Evans coming infield, and she is offside, isn't she? But again, one of the, you know, times that they've actually linked up, they've had 3 people going forward. And that's what Smith has to do on that left-hand side, join when she can, and Shimizu on this right-hand side too. Get forward, get high, support.
Well, it feels like we're in for quite the final day, and that will be on Saturday, 27th of May from 1:30 p.m. Can't tell you what the games will be yet. That depends on this weekend, what happens this weekend. You'd fancy, though, will feature Chelsea. Harder. Almost got it. Jim Cameron into Kerr. Jankovic. Team that carries so much danger in their side to the opposition. Harder, looking for Kerr. You can see Kerr on the move. Sissoko. It's right on the edge of the penalty area. Sissoko determined to go toe-to-toe with Kerr, but really treading quite the line.
Yeah, they're both running for the ball, aren't she? But the fact that Sam Kerr's in front of Sissoko and you still do that shoulder block.
That's tight.
We'd have to see it again, wouldn't we? But the fact that if they were shoulder to shoulder on level, I think she might have got away with it. But the fact that Sam Kerr's getting to the ball first, you know, it's definitely a foul.
Well. I'm not going to ask a centre-half whether that's in or outside the box. Yeah. Well, West Ham pretty deep from this free kick. There are Chelsea players lingering. Fired in towards the back post. Headed wide. Well, they were queuing up there. Harder in there. Carter as well.
The delivery from Fleming was fantastic. Look at that. Look how low it is, the pace. You know, Mackenzie Arnold's got no chance. She can't come for that ball. There's too much pace on it, too many players to get through. And like you say, they're queuing up at the back. She'll be really disappointed. That's got to be a goal for her standards and the contribution she's made so far.
Say Shimizu or Evans won't get to that, but Eriksson pushing that clearance.
Maybe Harder missing that proves that she is human. Because I was beginning to think she wasn't.
Strong start from the Great Dane. The options that Chelsea have in their attacking lineup. Bear in mind that Lauren James isn't even in the starting lineup. But big miss. But Pernilla Harder, with that chance there, the opportunity to get on the score sheet. And her recent form, pretty good.
I mean, it's like a new signing, isn't it? Come lease the life. A player coming in so hungry, you know, contributing at such a high level, and it's also what she gives the rest of the team. When you see Pernilla Harder coming on, you know, if you're a teammate, it gives you extra confidence, feed her, give her the ball, because she's a special player.
Again, Sissoko trying to get there before Sam Kerr. She's decided that's going to be her approach against the Australian. Fleming, Ingle. Carter. Now, West Ham have been feeding off scraps as far as attacking opportunities go. Again, they can't link up, and they'd committed some bodies forward there. Fleming. It goes to Chankovic. And Ingle. Charles. Fleming. Eriksson. Ingle, Harder, looking for Kerr, and good defending from Sissoko, perhaps, just about.
Yeah, I think so. But Chelsea is so sharp on the second phase, aren't they? Look at Harder. She's already anticipating where the ball's going to bounce, and that's it, and it's going forward. You know, they're prepared to kind of probe centrally, lose the ball, but then the second phase, they pick up the second ball so quickly, and that's it. Then they're going forward on that phase. You know, it's so quick. You need players to be switched on, to concentrate, to anticipate where the ball's going to land and how they can exploit the opponent and the defender.
Charles. And Fisk chasing that ball. And Arnold, look for long ball forward, but again, it's easy for Eriksson. And there's Harder and Ingle. Still working hard though, West Ham United. And only one goal down after this first half an hour. It's a pass out towards Smith. Longhurst. See, Chelsea hunting after that ball. Tissiak. Sissoko. And the pressure, just too much.
It's such a hard mindset, Seb. You know, when you've been defending for so long and you're in that mindset, aggression, or, you know, looking for your forwards, you know, when to defend, how, you know, and then when you win back the ball, you know, to go composed and to think about your quality of pass, your movement, you know, it's really difficult. You know, not necessarily when the game's in transition and it's fairly equal, but when you've been defending, especially for long periods of the games, it's really, really difficult. And that's why we're seeing West Ham either lose it in 4 or 5 passes or 4 or 5 seconds, you know, not being able to sustain that quality of attack going forward.
And Charles winning her battle with Shimizu on that side. And for Chelsea, one negative they might say is they haven't scored more than the one they have. But West Ham still in this game. Had chances, Chelsea.
Yeah, I think they'll be pleased with the intensity that they're playing with. You know, the quality. They've had some really good moves, good quick moves, intensity, how good they're counter-pressing, winning the ball back. You know, they're fairly comfortable. They're in control of this game. So I think they'll certainly be pleased with that. Like you say, that's the only downside. They haven't scored more.
Fisk had a little look over her shoulder. Arnold was offering the ball there, but instead Fisk offers it to Harder. That's a dangerous thing to do if you're West Ham United. Fleming. It's in Conrad. Jankovic. Nice ball in towards the Swede. Ritin Kanrid. Will be a corner. Tysiak in the way.
Them two link up really well, don't they? We often see Jankovic going out to that right-hand side so she can, you know, come in field on it and deliver on her left foot, but those two have got a nice connection building.
Smart player, the Serbian midfielder. She's going to take this corner. A word for Sissoko here, who is on a yellow card, but is still trying to beat Sam Kerr to every ball. Keep an eye on that one. Jankovic whips that ball in. Arnold, strong punch. And Sissoko the furthest forward here. And Buchanan allows that to bounce, and Sissoko going in on Buchanan there. Has to be careful, and West Ham have to be careful here. Game feels a bit fragmented, and look where Sissoko is. And she's done well to help that on to Evans, and Sissoko carrying on, and Asai in the middle. This could be quite the chance for West Ham. Buchanan in the way. Parker. Home support coming to life with this rare attack. Evans, that's a pretty decent ball in, and Asai got there. Head of Buchanan, chance.
And it was a good counter-attack, wasn't it, from West Ham? I saw that from the corner, Sissoko wasn't marking anyone, and maybe that's the ploy, you know, to go. She's got the pace, but this is a wonderful delivery, isn't it? And Asai's done well to hold off Buchanan. Lisa Evans with a delivery. And again, really good. You know, ideally, you probably want Brynjarsdottir to attack that. You know, she's so dominant in the air, but it's a good chance. And by I say, she's chipping away, isn't she? Working extremely hard for her team.
So let me get this right, Laura. Part of the plan is for the centre half to be charging down the right wing.
She wasn't marking. Wow, it'd be good to see it again, because she wasn't marking anyone. She was on the top of the box looking for those edge players. And I'm thinking, well, she's so good in the air, physically so good.
Let's see if that happens again. Here's Fleming. It's been a fascinating situation actually with Sissoko and Sam Kerr in this first half, but she almost turned provider for her side there. That would have been quite a moment.
Well, she certainly drives her team on, doesn't she, with the intensity. Here she is, top of the box. You're thinking, she's a centre-back. She's so good. She's, you know, she's so done. But that's it. She's off to get on the first, second ball. Yeah, you know, possibly this is a foul on Buchanan, but she's off.
It's the sort of analysis that you can see, those sort of situations where Sissoko free, but right now she's got... looking for where Kerr is. Tysiak passing Kerr on to Sissoko. Here's Ingle. Fleming. Tackle from Fisk. And Smith forward, and Buchanan. Longhurst there. She gambled perhaps. She might have been in. Tysiak, strong header. West Ham defence so far has kept Chelsea to just the one goal. Part of that back three, the young Belgian Amber Tysiak. Injuries have affected her chance to play more of a part for Paul Konchesky this season. One of their signings, first start for the club tonight. Did come off the bench back in April. A heavy loss to Manchester City. Belgium missing out on the World Cup. Sissoko carrying that ball. Sissoko was part of the France squad at the last Euros. Asai, the France squad at the last World Cup.
I feel like West Ham are feel like they're a little bit back in the game now, a bit more competitive, getting up to the ball, winning little things, and then, you know, when they're flicking things on, it's sticking. Obviously, you say drawing that foul against Jess Carter, you know, ready to pin it, spin it, you know, ready to feel that physical battle with her.
So closing in at half-time here, and West Ham just a goal down, so just need that one chance. Parker trying to help it on, but Chelsea take the game away from you in the blink of an eye. Fleming. Kerr. Charles is there, the no-look pass from Kerr. Charles sending it in Sissoko, only as far as Kerr. You cannot switch off with her around.
But she started that move, didn't she? You know, she's coming off the defenders, going forward, linking in. And again, why not? With the crucial goals that she scored recently, you know, you'd certainly back yourself. But we're just not used to seeing her shoot from that distance, are we? It's normally, you know, balls over the top, her running at goal, 1v1 situations, or in the 18-yard box.
Feels like the last time she shot from that sort of distance was the final day last season. Stunning goal. Will she be the one to take Chelsea over the line again this season? Another tight title race. But they've been the side that have had their blue nose just in front of the others in recent times. But the scoreline is narrowly in Chelsea's favour, but they have dominated this first half. He'll be relieved, Paul Konchesky, with the scoreline. When you look at those situations, 19 touches in the box.
Exactly, well, especially after Chelsea scoring after 13 minutes. You know, that's something that he would have spoke to his team about. Don't concede early, you know, grow into the game, be hard to beat, be resilient. And unfortunately, when they did concede, but like you say, they certainly have been under the pressure, but it seems like they've grown a little bit more as the half's gone on.
It's for Kate Longhurst there. It's a painful one. Here's Buchanan. Eriksson. Charles. Ingle once more. Harder wants that ball played in behind. Sissoko. Couple of checks to see where Harder is. Clears it only as far as Fleming. Jankovic. And Arnold just getting in away. Tinkarid so quick. Ingle. Kerr. Jankovic onto Carter. Chelsea finds one more chance before half-time. Carter digs the cross out, almost reached Kerr, and Sissoko is there.
It's probably the first time that we've seen Jess Carter get so high and deliver a cross into the box. And again, looking for Sam Kerr, you know, to come and attack this, but Sissoko was positioned well, her start position was good. I'm not too sure the header was meant to go in that direction, but she'll be relieved and happy that Mackenzie is an easy pick-up for Mackenzie Arnold.
Saw their 8 matches without defeat against West Ham United, and Emma Hayes herself has never lost against West Ham United as Chelsea manager. Won all but one of her meetings with them as well. She won't be completely pleased with the first half. Just because of the scoreline at the moment. But when Chelsea got that early goal, we thought West Ham might be in trouble. The last time they hosted Chelsea here, which was in the League Cup, 7-0 defeat. But what's important for Chelsea is that they are back on top. It will be the first time they've been back on top since March. tonight, after this game, Chelsea will have played the same number of games. Buchanan, an air shot there. Had a couple of those moments in the first half, but hasn't been a West Ham player to take advantage. Just 1 minute to be added on in this first half. Will both managers probably have the same emotions right now?
Probably not. I think, going back to this, I think Asai can sniff maybe Buchanan, you know, she's slipped, she's missed a couple air shots, you know, maybe Asai is sniffing that might be, you know, an area or a player where she can get around and win back the ball and maybe exploit.
But Chelsea exploited that West Ham defence only once on the score sheet. West Ham see this through to half-time with just this score on the board. Longhurst with a footing. It's been most of her touches in this first half. Part of this defensive unit for West Ham United. A new defensive unit with Tisiak in that back line. Tisiak tight to Kerr at the moment. Smith to win that ball back, but she hasn't. There's Kerr helping it on, Sissoko away. And that's it for the first half. A first half which Chelsea have dominated as far as possession and chances are concerned, but just the one goal to show for it. Niamh Charles on the score sheet again against West Ham after scoring against them last season. But Chelsea would have wanted more. West Ham have held out just about enough. Half-time is West Ham United 0, Chelsea 1.
Chelsea a goal up at West Ham in our second match of the day after Arsenal's 4-1 win at Everton. Fern Whelan, Karen Carney here with me. Fern, West Ham eased back into it, made it a bit nervous for Chelsea at the end of that first half. Yeah, definitely. I mean, they haven't created too much in the final third, but I think what they have done is stifle Chelsea and condense the spaces in the block that they are playing to make it really difficult for them to play through. So I think they'll be happy going in at half-time, only one goal down. Because when Chelsea score in that first 15 minutes, you're thinking, right, here we go again, Karen.
Well, a little bit, but Fern makes a great point of how deep West Ham have defended, and it's been really, really difficult. And this was probably the chance that he kind of opened West Ham up, and then it caused chaos, and then they had numbers in there to do it. So the ball was fizzed in, and this ball here from Pernilla Harder in behind to Canarid, pulls it back, stay calm. Defenders are really, really deep, and then your left wing back, Niamh Charles, pops up, obviously with the vital goal. But this pass, we're talking about Pernilla Harder's form.
Yeah.
You know, big players, big moments, make the right passes at the right time with the best decisions, and that pass there opens everything up because it means West Ham have to drop deeper, then the space is here, and there's just so many bodies in there, it's so difficult for them to try and defend it. But it's a problem for Chelsea because they do find it harder when there's less spaces in behind to try and exploit. So, and with the goals really needed to make the difference up, they're going to have to try and figure that out definitely in the second half.
Niamh Charles, her 100th WSL appearance, 100th appearance for Chelsea, just 23. Should they have had a penalty, though, Chelsea, as well?
It is a difficult one, and I think, you know, one that we've discussed quite heavily in the studio. I think my initial reaction was that it wasn't. I think Sissoko's come across here and she's put her body in the way. And after watching it a couple of times, I do think, actually, I think there's, you know, I think we've seen them given before. Sissoko gets a body across, but for me, it's the second contact where there's a clash of legs, and potentially we've seen it before from Sissoko where she can be a little bit clumsy in the tackle. She doesn't actually touch the ball there, so for me, that could have been given as a pen.
1-0 only at the break, and I say only. We've seen Chelsea perhaps have slower first 45 minutes and then come out in the second 45. Expect that again today?
Yeah, and like we said, the goals are going to be really vital, and the way that West Ham are defended, they might tire towards the back end of the game, and maybe subs will come into it, but Chelsea need the goals, All right, 1-0 at the break. You say they need the goals. Tight as you like at the top of the table, though. Chelsea going top as it stands. Can West Ham make a point in the second half? You were saying to Karen that Chelsea have this history of coming out in the second half and just blowing teams away, but West Ham have a knack of pulling things back. At least they did before this awful run this year.
Yeah, they've not been on a good run this year, there's no doubt about that, but obviously the way they've played in the first half, they set up in the formation they have done, they're there to stifle Chelsea, and they are doing exactly that. I think For me, what they need to do in the second half is make sure they keep that discipline, because obviously the longer it goes on 1-0, there's potential for their minds to be thinking, okay, maybe we can creep and get something out of this. So I think they need to keep that discipline, otherwise the spaces will open up and then that plays massively into Chelsea's hands.
I'm sure you just said something really interesting, but I'm trying to lip read those two at the moment. Nothing doing. Maybe we'll ask them about it post-match as well. Let's get back to the second half then, in the company of Laura Bassett and Seb Hutchinson.
It's a first half in which Chelsea dominated the ball, dominated the territory, had the chances, but just the one goal. Neve Giles with that goal. And West Ham United, well, I asked at the end of the first half, Laura, and you batted it away, but I'll ask again, what about the managers and how they would have felt about that first half and going into this second one?
Yeah, I think the game played out how we would have predicted and thought, and I think Konchesky would have been happy with his team, the discipline and how they grew into the game. They didn't, the wheels didn't come off and they didn't go off script when they conceded a goal. They stuck to the plan and actually, they created a few more opportunities and got players higher up as the half went on. And as for Emma Hayes, I'm sure that, the only thing missing would have been more goals, a bit more clinical edge, but again, like we've already spoken about, she knows that she has the subs to do that, and also these players step up in the second half.
So Chelsea with that advantage, an advantage that has them at the top of the WSL. What can West Ham United come up with in this second half? Can they hold Chelsea off for enough time in this second half to just get that chance of their own? Here's Carter. Chankovic to Carter. And that's West Ham back five, all in a line. Oh, there's a strong challenge for Tisiak there on Harder, who didn't like the challenge. Apology from the Belgian.
When you see forwards coming into this position as a centre-back, you need to apply pressure.
Chelsea taking that free kick quickly. With that strong start to the second half, Brittin Conrad laying it back in goal, and Arnold's hand was strong enough there and had to be.
Again, good pressure by Jessie Fleming. Brittin Conrad, she's sharp, she's onto it. It's a good set back to Sophie Ingle. She's capable of giving it a go. If it maybe would have been on her right foot, she might have gone with her laces, but solid save by Arnold again.
Strong start to the first half, looking for a strong start to this second half. And Chankovic to take this corner. West Ham with everybody back in their own penalty area. Chancovic's ball into the near post. Wasn't the best, but they still might make something of it here. Say were clear. Sissoko again was the one waiting for the break. But here's Chankovic. And Chankovic, all in again. Good header from Tisiak. Brittin Conrad. There's quick feed again. Brittin Conrad once more. Charles, that's a decent ball. Strong header from Fisk away. They haven't cleared their lines. Time for Harder. Goal for Harder. And that's the control Chelsea were looking for with their second on the scoreboard. And Pernilla Harder in quite the form since her return. And Chelsea in a strong position.
Well, she missed that header in the first half, but no way was she missing that one. Again, good. Chelsea keep it alive, don't they? And Eriksson, you just see her leave it for Harder, and that to hit that into the side netting, she doesn't even have to look up. She knows exactly where she wants to hit it. But again, good cross to the back post. West Ham do well. They get the first contact, but they're nowhere near the second. But that is a wonderful finish, into the side net. No keeper saving that with that much power.
And Harder scoring tonight, scored twice against West Ham United on this ground last season. Her 8th goal this season. She would have had more, of course, no doubt about that, if it wasn't for injury. What a player to have at your disposal. Kanri. Jankovic. Jankovic. British losing the ball. Fleming, harder, hangs it towards Kerr. Brilliant control from Kerr. Tried the layoff to Ingle.
They're finding their rhythm now, aren't they? They flow already in this second half. You just see Chelsea players lining up at the edge of the box. You know, West Ham are so deep in their 18-yard box, ready to defend the cross, ready to get the first contact. But then no one seems to be on that 18-yard box, ready to pick up the seconds and clear it.
Well, West Ham would have hoped just hold off Chelsea for as long as possible in the second half, but it didn't take them long. And here's Harder, isolated Sissoko. Harder to Jankovic. Ingle. Eriksson. To Charles. Into Kerr. And that should be Mackenzie Arnold's. See that goal again.
I mean, she doesn't even look up, does she? She doesn't look up. She doesn't need to know where the keeper is, because if you put it across the goal in that side netting, it doesn't matter where the keeper is. You know, she's got even a little bit of disguise on it. It's so well executed.
Just the settler for Chelsea at the start of this second half as well. Don't expect their intensity to drop. Stated in the first half, the goal difference is still pretty tight between themselves and Manchester United. They do have the points advantage as it stands, heading into those big games of the weekend. Chelsea, 2-point advantage, and look at the goal difference. Here's Carter. They will keep on pressing for more goals, Chelsea. And another reminder that they won 7-0 on this ground earlier this year in the Cup. Here's Jankovic. To Harder. Here's Fisk. Shimizu, who would love to get forward, but it's hard when you're facing this Chelsea attack. Eriksson into Harder. Fisk getting tight. There's Dottit. It's not a bad ball to Shimizu, and this is better. Parker's touch. Read the danger there, Ingle. She'll look to stretch West Ham again with Harder. Keeps that ball in play. Finds Fleming, not quite. Ingle. That's comfortable enough for Arnold, who's part of that Australia side that ended the Lionesses' long unbeaten run under Serena Wiegman, ahead of the World Cup, partly held in her own home country. Say, excellent control. There's Dottit. Shimizu for Evans. going to make a change very shortly here, West Ham. Ball sent in, and Musovic, who hasn't had much to do at all, claims that easily.
Probably the best spell of the second half, wasn't it? Moved the ball well, and they've got 3 in the box, so when they get it out wide, that's when the quality across really needs to come in. You know, keep it away from the goalkeeper, give your attackers something really to go and get on the end of and really attack.
It's the young Dane, Emma Snurlo, is about to come on. Midfielder, which could see Parker go to defence. Tisiak, we believe, the one to make way. Shimizu, nicely done. A lot more touches already. The second half. Japan international. And they're going to make that change now. Tisiak's full debut comes to an end. One young player comes on for another. Snell, yeah, younger than Tisiak. This midfielder actually did start the previous game in any case. Let's see if that does move Parker back.
Yeah, I think she's got the point, she's got the nod. And Snurler comes in. She's certainly a good ball carrier, Snurler, very confident, can go both ways, likes the physical contact, and she's got good quality on the ball to play those balls forward.
And if West Ham do try and push forward, Chelsea have always got Vanilla Harder and Sam Kerr on the counter. Can you imagine Emma Hayes will keep both of those two on the pitch? Well, the score is as it is. Here's Eriksson. Charles. Ingle. And a challenge from Asai there. Chelsea, a club that aim to compete on all fronts with the domestic cup competitions in Europe and in the league.
I mean, I think Asai is really trying to get round players, isn't she? I mean, it's the slightest the one on Sophie Ingle's big toe, but she's certainly trying to set the tone, isn't she? Getting around, up the intensity, get up to the ball, try and affect it. You know, she tries to lead by example from the front.
Well, if they do want to rest some of those starting, they have got some talent on that bench, Chelsea. Guro Wrighton, Lauren James, attacking talent, Leipoltz as well, ace of that midfield. Kerr, couldn't quite get the ball out from under her feet. Evans needs some support. Smith arriving, but couldn't hold it up long enough, and Carter deals with the problem.
No, she does exceptional to get round Jess Carter, but as soon as you don't, you know, keep going forward, or, you know, you change your mind, you know, you don't give Jess Carter a second chance, otherwise the opportunity's gone. But Snurler was trying to keep up with Lisa Evans and Brynja's Dottier, but they just couldn't get close. And again, Jess Carter has the recovery speed and the agility and the power to get back and make sure that she corrects the initial mistake.
Jankovic, Ritin Kanrid, several waiting for the ball across. Kerr's header. How did that not go in? Still they come, Chelsea. And cleared away by Shimizu.
Yeah, Sam Kerr's just given a thumbs up to Ritin Kanrid. She knows that's a really good quality ball. Again, could be a possible offside, tight that one. But again, she's got time and space to pick up. And again, you'd expect Sam Kerr to bury that, but maybe Grace Fisk did enough just to hold her up on her shoulder, just to affect her.
Certainly won't affect Sam Kerr missing that chance. She'll wait for the next one. Might come here. Jankovic tried to find Kerr. Ingle. Carter. Ingle. Couldn't find Jankovic. Here's Carter. Conrad. No goals tonight for Sam Kerr, but she's had a few in this fixture recently. Could do the maths on that one, Laura. 10 in 5, I make it. Conrad, Kerr, there's Sissoko, who now wants to drive forward. Now Sissoko making one of those breaks from defence.
She's good at it though. It's one of her super strengths, you know, it automatically backs a team off. But I like the reaction from Sam Kerr. She was willing to chase her, wanted to get in the fight and the battle and win back the ball.
Longhurst, crossing on Snell. Fisk. There's Grace Fisk again. Who's the centre-back prepared to try and play out from the back? On to Fisk again. Pressure from Harder once more. Shimizu, but Chelsea trying to box West Ham United in. Longhurst to Sissoko. Well to work out of trouble. But once again, Ritin Conrad winning it. And Ingle. Jankovic. So many good ball players in this Chelsea side as well. No sign of a substitution just yet, though, from Emma Hayes. Ingle to Carter.
Well, also Emma Hayes might have an eye on Sunday's big game against Arsenal as well. You know, I'm sure you map out your teams, your players, how many minutes they're loading, how they're feeling. You know, as well as you have a plan for today, if it's going well, if you're so many, you know, you plan for every eventuality. And that goes with players as well, you know, looking ahead to Sunday's game, how you might exploit that opponent and those particular players.
Plenty of possession for Chelsea, as there has been. First hour of the game. Carter. Jankovic. Lovely ball to Harder. Tim Conrad in support. Harder trying to roll Parker. Here goes Harder again. Parker going to ground. Longhurst ran into trouble. Jankovic. Challenge, I think. Longhurst and Fleming. Both in a bit of pain as the cross goes into the back post. And Shimizu getting something on that. Longhurst still down for West Ham. Chelsea still coming forward. The player, so West Ham are player short momentarily.
Looks like coming together, doesn't it? You know, knee on knee. Certainly Kate Longus looks like she's in a lot of discomfort. But again, credit to Jessie Fleming before the contact. You know, she's so sharp. She wants the counter press. She wants to keep the ball there, win it back, because she knows she's got so many attacking players to play with.
See her 180th appearance tonight in this ongoing race with Ceres Harrop. To think Niamh Charles already at 100 at the age she's at. Corner comes in, and Arnold's got something on that. And a follow-up is there for Ingle. And Chelsea really cooking now. Making their goal difference so much better. And truly taking this game away from West Ham United.
Sophie Ingle can't believe how easy that was. Good looking ball, isn't it? And Eriksson does so well. You've got to run towards the front post as well as flick it and contact it towards goal. And again, can Mackenzie Arnold do a little bit better with this? And again, Sophie Ingle's right place, right time, heads it well. You know, but Eriksson, this first contact, so important, so difficult. And again, it's unlucky for West Ham the way it hits the crossbar, but you've got to react, you've got to fight for it, you've got to read the game. And again, Sophie Ingle's just waiting, thank you very much. But again, all credit to Eriksson as well. You know, that first contact was vital. Such a difficult skill to run towards the front post space and then flick it behind you towards goal.
Well, Sophie Ingle hadn't scored in the previous 2 WSL seasons to this one. Well, that's 2 for the season for the Wales international. And a double change for West Ham United. Nesdotter taken off, I guess, with the challenges ahead, because they still need that point from somewhere, unless Reading don't get anything from their next game. Look at Hayashi. Hayashi, one of the other Japanese players in this West Ham United squad, is on into the midfield. Testrup, the other change, another of the Danes in the West Ham United side. They'll be hoping to get closer to Asai, and in a game that might feel like damage limitations now.
Yeah, I think so, especially taking those players off that he's just taken. Paul Konchesky, you know, maybe like you say, he might be looking ahead, keep them fit, keep them available. They've got games against Leicester and Tottenham, which are 2 huge. You know, if you get back-to-back wins, all of a sudden the mood and the taste of this season just feels a little bit different, with a lot of learning, you know, in the best part of 2023.
And Chelsea just bringing on Erin Cuthbert, Vera Wrighton and Laura James. Cunrid. Harder, and Ritik Cunrid. Just wouldn't quite break for her there. An intervention from Parker.
She's causing problems, isn't she, Wrighton Cunrid? You know, she looks alive, she looks to take on players, she exploits the space really, really well. And often there's a good end product that come from her, not on that occasion because there was a little nick, a little interception. But a lot of good comes from her getting on the ball.
Ingle forward. Well, West Ham, Hayashi here, but running into trouble. Opposite number, Tinkanrid, Chankovic, Ingle. And there's the ball looking for Kerr, but instead it's Harder who gets there first. Should allow Chelsea to make their changes. Maybe their last chance of the game for Harder. In fact, it will be. But she has made a difference in this match.
Yeah, she has. I mean, look at it. We could watch this all day, couldn't we? That finishing. So impressive. She doesn't even have to look. She just knows. She knows where the goal is, knows where the keeper is. And that's a contribution done for today.
Yeah, she's one of the 3 coming off for Chelsea. Shankovic and Fleming as well. And Gura right. Lauren James and Erin Cuthbert through the stand, or three of the standout players for Chelsea this season coming on. Very much looking to get in on the act.
Exactly, coming to get in on the act, score goals and warm up probably, because it's a cold Dagenham, a cold night in Dagenham.
In mid to late May. Well, earlier on, Arsenal with a big win at Everton. And Chelsea well on course here for a big win in East London. And Emma Hayes still chasing perfection. But when it comes down to it, all that matters right now is that Chelsea, with the current scoreline and what looks like it's going to be 3 points, will go back to the top of the WSL table for the first time since March, but at this key point in the season, a 2-point advantage, and as it stands, a 3-goal advantage as far as goal difference is concerned. And that is all leading up to this weekend when Chelsea face Arsenal, and live on Sky Sports, the Manchester derby. Manchester United hosting Manchester City. And knowing, well, they'll know at that point, if Chelsea have dropped points against Arsenal, what an opportunity on Skinner's side. And the final day will be across all the action. The 27th of May, 1:30 p.m. Looks like it's going to go down to the final day. Chelsea with this scoreline have knocked Manchester City out of the title race. They know if they beat Arsenal, even get a point against them this weekend, that would knock Arsenal out of the title race. But if Arsenal beat Chelsea, well, all of a sudden we could be in for quite the final day. Here's Carter. Ingle. Hence the 7 changes, you would say, from Emma Hayes. Of course, focus on this game tonight, but one eye on that game against Arsenal.
Yeah, definitely. You know, and also, you know, I think it shows just how comfortable Chelsea have been tonight. You know, it's been in 100% their control. Yes, there's been some, you know, errors and learnings and things they can improve on, but it has been extremely comfortable and in their control. And, you know, that enables you to make as many substitutions and get as many players up to speed, up to the intensity of the game and get some vital minutes.
All sent forward. There's Fisk in the way. See. But they can't hold on to the ball, West Ham. And here's James. And already right in on the move. And what an intervention from Parker. But she has to get back to her feet quickly because Ritin Kanrid plays it across. And that's away by Fisk.
It's exceptional defending by Parker. What a vital touch. That would have been a goal. That would have been number 4.
Back in the back 3. Starting this game in midfield. Positions that Wrighton picks up for Chelsea. Such a dangerous player. Brilliant creator. Ritin Kanrid just taking her eye off the ball. Parker, no surprise, she has cramp after this intervention.
Lauren James as well, doesn't she? Picks up a space, feeds it forward, but that ball, and again, just to get it over Sam Kerr, you know, even if she would have touched it, that could have easily been an own goal. She's facing her own goal, but that is wonderful. You know, that is extremely timed, the focus, the concentration. But yeah, she's certainly been asked to do a lot tonight, hasn't she, in centre midfield and now at centre back. She's feeling the effects.
Still plenty more defending to do. Wrighton just drags it past the post. Talking about warming up, I think she's right at the pace already, Guro Wrighton.
She always is, isn't she? She plays like she's an enthused, hungry 16-year-old. You know, look at this, holds off the pressure of Hayashi. And again, I thought she was going to wrap it round that far corner, but goes for that near post and just gets the little deflection to make it a corner.
You think you've had to face Pernilla harder, and then Guro Wrighton comes on. Picks up the baton. Wrighton's corner. And I think Eriksson got the last touch there. No complaint, and the Chelsea captain.
Yeah, she's certainly the player, a vital player that Chelsea aim for, so strong and dominant in the air. It's a real skill to read the flight of the ball and attack it, time your run.
Well, Mackenzie Arnold just down at the moment for West Ham United. But right now this scoreline 3-0. And the last of those 3 goals scored by Sophie Ingle, based on that midfield.
She's had a really steady game, hasn't she? Just kept it simple. Again, there's some, you know, she goes about her work unreserved, is so consistent. You know, and here she doesn't make any mistakes on that occasion. But again, all game, you know, she's so simple, so reliable, so consistent. Always makes the right decision on the ball, and off the ball she reads the game so well.
We spoke about Kate Longhurst a bit earlier, her 180th WSL appearance. She's only 4 behind, so is Sophie Ingle. Only 3 players have made more WSL appearances than Sophie Ingle. This is her 176th tonight. Despite that long career, still an important cog in this Chelsea machine. Good news for West Ham, Mackenzie Arnold is okay. You never know, but she looks like she's going to be able to continue. Hilliard there. He's waiting just in case. Buchanan. Still time left here for Chelsea to push for more. Conrad again just hugging the touchline, already stretching the pitch. It's lost by Buchanan though. We had that time to play the pass. No foul, one back by Lauren James. Gets her head up, tries to play in Wrighton. Norwegian keeping it. That ball alive. James. He's going to break to James again. Strip is there. But Chelsea are there. Ingle. James. Kerr. And Wrighton looking for Kerr. It was a clever ball. Parker in the right place again. A save, and nowhere for West Ham to go. That's going to be a free kick. Slight breather for West Ham.
Good battle between those two, isn't it? You know, they keep chomping at each other's heels. And again, the lunge at Jess Carter at the end just means it's a free kick, a foul. Now Sissoko had to go on a charge there, just earn the free kick. You feel like every West Ham player, when they get the ball, the options aren't there. No, they're not. But she certainly has the license to do this, doesn't she? She likes to go forward, positive, and she does draw the foul because she can move the ball so quick and herself.
Wrighton James sandwich for Sissoko. Two top-class substitutes for Chelsea in this particular game. And two more, and one of them on the right-hand side there, Katrina Svitkova, was last season in the Claret and Blue of West Ham United. She's going to face her previous club, Longhurst. It's a nice ball towards Shimizu, who couldn't quite keep that ball in play. Chelsea not quite going to make their subs. Yeah. Milosevic forward. Fisk. And Snurler is in strongly there. Referee, though, has given a free kick to West Ham. I think for the challenge on Hayashi. Cuthbert disagrees. Just still holding off on the substitute. The substitutes. I think West Ham are going to make one as well. And Izzy Atkinson, the Ireland international, is going to come on shortly. Rare chance for West Ham in the Chelsea half. So Parker playing it in, and Fisk with a free header.
It was actually a really good ball, wasn't it? If I'm being picky, it had a lot of pace on it, you know, which arrived at Fisk's head far too quick. But you're right, she was unmarked. You know, Hurt is the closest player to her, but she's gone, she's off. And when she watches that back, it'll probably be a little bit disappointed. She was all on her own, but it does fly at her. Comes in far too quick.
Niamh Charles coming off, and this was the goal that opened the scoring. Got the ball rolling for Chelsea. And the Russian Elsa Abdelina is the other of the players coming on. Has just come on for Chelsea on the left-hand side. And there is Svitkova, back on familiar territory. Chelsea able to make full use of their squad tonight with a game one. And Kerr going off, Say going off for West Ham, Atkinson on, and the subs being made with the next games in mind already, because this game is one for Chelsea. Parker, strong second half. That's strong from Carter. Cuthbert, Brighton, Ingle, and Brighton, Svitkova, and Ingle. They can make the changes, but they can still move the ball so well. Although Rittikkanen is offside, and one of those in the front line to stay on the field.
Like you say, even with so many changes, you know, they're so comfortable in the ball. I like the way Lauren James has injected some pace, the way she plays. Yeah, just offside, wasn't she there? Good call from the assistant referee. But, you know, as soon as it goes into Lauren James, it's fizzed in. The ball speed is quicker, which means it allows you to attack a little bit quicker.
Well, if you want to see a stat, look at that in terms of touches in the opposition box.
And that's how it feels, doesn't it? It kind of feels like it's a training game. You know, I'm sure they've had, you know, maybe harder in-house games amongst them all with the calibre of players they've got. It's very comfortable, in their control, even with the amount of substitutions that they've made.
Decent turn from Snurler, but the pass will find a teammate. Buchanan, rolled over. James. Brighton. to Hayashi. But Chelsea winning that ball back quickly, as they always do. And Cuthbert with a shot just over.
You've nailed that, Seb, exactly. The counter press has been so good tonight, so easy, so quick for Chelsea, and this just epitomises everything that Chelsea's done well. Quick counter press, win back the ball, so positive. The power that Cuthbert's got just needed to be on target. But again, it's with so much purpose and positivity.
Longhurst. A little nutmeg there on Svitkavura, previous teammate. Here's James driving on. Blocked by Fisk. It opened up for James there. And West Ham do get the decision. Still adjust. Well, for West Ham United this season, currently on 17 points, and 1 point tonight would have been enough to confirm safety, but in all honesty, with what's required from Reading to make up the ground, it's a very, very tall order. West Ham should be okay for next season. Here's Cuthbert. Carter. Svitkavura couldn't quite get that ball. And Arnold will hold on to the ball. Know that Australia hoping to get their players a little bit earlier than the demanded release date for clubs to release their players to international teams. Hayashi. Shimizu. Hayashi trying to play that ball through. Joshua is in, but it's off the line. There was the chance for West Ham, a rare chance, but a very, very good one for the substitute Testrup. Smith. Is there a goal in this for West Ham, though? Bit of defending for Chelsea to do. A rare sort of chance. Longhurst. Oh, she caught hold of that. And not that far away.
What an effort that was from Kate Longhurst. Wonderful technique. Just falls lovely to her, doesn't it? It's great work from West Ham, really come alive in these last moments. Again, you could see her shaping up. There was only one thing in her mind, but actually the execution wasn't bad. Just off target. But Musovic certainly had her at full strength. But again, the work, the intricate play. Again, there's a good save between Buchanan and Musovic, but again, the mentality from Jess Carter, they want to keep this clean sheet. That's the mentality they have. You're not going to score an easy goal past us.
Absolutely, and as we've said several times tonight, the goal difference still could be very important as far as the title race is concerned. Carter. Getting there before Atkinson. Well, that will be a free kick to West Ham United. They've had a little bit of a flurry late on here.
Fantastic technique, isn't it? You could watch that all day, and it's so close. You can see. It's wonderful. That's a great shot, that is. She'll watch that back and think if only that would have probably been goal of the season. How the technique, you can appreciate that. You practice them every day in training, and they go all over.
Speaking from personal experience there.
No one would ever let me shoot.
Brilliant angle of that effort, though, from Longhurst. Here's Buchanan. Delina to link up. Buchanan. Chelsea in cruise control. Have been, it feels, for the last half an hour. Cuthbert made plenty of changes as well. Tim Conrad. Conrad inside, thick cover. And where's Longhurst? James. And James just picks up the tempo so quickly, makes things happen, and then Cuthbert. I thought Arnold had got a touch to that initially, and another sighter for the Scot.
Lauren James has really set this game alive, hasn't she? She's been a bright spark in the second half. Look how easy this is. Come on, Grace Fisk, get close. No, that's it. I'm going to spin you. I've got the pace. I've got the balance. And again, Erin Cuthbert's just there waiting. She's had a chance earlier, didn't she, with her right foot? Went over the bar, and that's the same with her left foot.
Well, another strong display from Chelsea, but who's your player of the match, Laura?
Yeah, I think a lot of Chelsea players have been very comfortable, but I think that Writing Kennerid, I think she's been very disciplined out on the right-hand side. Always been an outlet, hasn't she? She's worked tirelessly, played the whole game. You know, and again, she's done so well. Look at the touch map, you know, up and down. You know, she's been so vital in both attack and defence. And I think she's worked tirelessly and been so key. Always been an outlet on that right-hand side, and their connections, especially in the first half with Kankovic, really caused West Ham a lot of problems.
So 4 minutes to be added on. And 3 goals for Chelsea. Another night they would have had more. Other nights they have had more. Carter ran into a bit of trouble there, but just about doing enough.
I think Chelsea will also be happy with the clean sheet, and also that everyone's coming off the pitch in good health. You know, what rested players have had some good minutes, you know, going into the weekend's big game.
Looking for right through the middle. Yes, not quite so fortunate were Arsenal earlier. Like another big injury with Leah Valti taken off. There's a long stoppage in that game. They have not had much luck when it comes to that particular area, Arsenal. But they do face Chelsea this weekend. Could play a big part in this title, could still win the title themselves. Buchanan. And she. Parker, but still Chelsea still hunting. Atkinson. Won't find Smith though. He's barely been able to cross the halfway line. Richard Conrad always getting there first. Svitka running forward. Richard Conrad, foot in from Parker. Still has it, the Swede. Cuthbert. Delina out on that side. Towards Richard Conrad. The turn is sharp and she's laid it back. Cuthbert! Oh, the power behind that. And third time lucky with a long-range strike tonight. In the 93rd minute as well. A thunderbolt.
Well, that was the one that she was waiting for, wasn't she? Like I said, she had one with her right foot, with her left foot. But look at this, Writing Kennerid does well, holds it off. It's a perfect layoff, isn't it? And what a strike that is. You know, the power, it's always going, she struck it with her laces, but it's always goes spinning away from Mackenzie Arnold into that far corner. That's fabulous strike. And again, like you say, third time lucky.
Richard Conrad putting it on the plate as well for Cuthbert. Good pick for player of the match there, Laura. Well done.
I knew.
Well, an improvement on the scoreline again for Chelsea in this game. You can't deny that they're worth this scoreline. A strong performance. And a clean sheet looks like it's there as well. Well, wouldn't have seen Arsenal's victory earlier, but Chelsea have matched it. The champions' charge continues. A big win in a London derby and a victory over West Ham United that has Chelsea back at the top again. A few months away from the summit, but right there when it matters for Emma Hayes, whose side, after victory in the FA Cup final, have won again in the WSL. And right now, look, the team to beat again for the title. A big weekend ahead, but they've played their part tonight. A victory over West Ham United by 4-0.
Seb, Laura, thank you. We were just wondering what Erin Cuthbert, I think she said third time lucky at the end. She actually could have been talking about the 3 substitutes that came on, because we said it, didn't we, when we sat here in the studio, to bring those 3 on at the end, to finish that match in this style just shows the strength of Chelsea.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, James, Wright and Cuthbert coming on. It's not what you want to see as a West Ham team when you've so resolutely defended for long periods of the game, and then they come on and, you know, potentially bring extra firepower going forward. It's, you know, it's not what you want to see as a West Ham player. But for Chelsea, you know, they potentially made the difference. But, you know, for me, I think Pernilla Harder was fantastic tonight, getting on the score sheet, another assist. There was a lot of good general all-round team performance, but also a few players popping up in terms of Sophie Ingle as well. I thought, you know, it was a really good professional performance from Chelsea tonight.
Karen, for your old gaffer, Emma Hayes, seeing her side go back top, I mean, she'll probably come on and tell us in, what, 5 minutes' time, you know, just focusing on the next match. But psychologically, what will this mean?
Going top of the table is exactly where you want to be at this stage. And it's been difficult because I think I mentioned it earlier, 6 games in 19 days.
Yeah. How
you manage that freshness, how you manage the emotions, and you are aware that if you lose any more than 2 games in the WSL, you're not going to win the title pretty much. So there's no room for error, and it's about keeping the players fresh. And it's a solid performance. I think their firm mentioned, you know, the first goal was from Niamh Charles, but second and third and fourth goal are from your senior players, you know, Harder, Ingle and Cuthbert, people that you rely on. So she'll be thrilled because it's a tough turnaround, but it's definitely not over with Arsenal coming up, and you've got that in the back of your mind as well.
Yeah, if they draw against Arsenal, it has the potential all to go down to that final match of the season. We could see Chelsea and Manchester United both finish top of the table, level on points, could come down to goal difference. How important could that, that Carter block as well, right at the end?
Yeah, and look, it's both 18-yard boxes count, and, you know, that's what she's been saying all, you know, winning matters, and it doesn't matter how you do it, but, you know, keeping clean sheets and then being clinical in the final third, because I think it's a +3 difference at the moment. So it's imperative that Carter did that block, also that mentality. It's not easy to come off the back of a final, deal with fatigue, whether it's mentally or physically or both, and come and put a performance in against West Ham, who had nothing really to lose. I know they need a point pretty much to stay up, but they could have made it even harder than what it was, and especially defending so deep in the first half.
Yeah. Confirmation then of that result tonight. Our second match of the day here on Sky Sports. We started off at 6:15 with Arsenal's 4-1 win over Everton. That result marred by an injury to Leah Volti. We'll get more reaction from that match to come. And Chelsea's 4-0 win at West Ham. So Chelsea then, confirmation move top of the WSL tonight, 2 points ahead of Manchester United. Everyone now having played 20 matches. West Ham 8th, but still needing a point to be absolutely sure of safety. Although, look at the teams below them at the moment, some crucial matches coming up. Elsewhere, it's the 105th US PGA starts tomorrow on Sky Sports Golf from Oak Hill Country Club. That's at 1. Then we've got the Manchester Derby for you on Sunday at 6:30. The final day, wherever it may be, we will be there from 1:30 on Sky Sports. Meanwhile, on Sky Max, Bel Air Bound, the second series of the remake available to see now. Well, will it be a remake or a repeat for Chelsea? They've gone top of the WSL, defending champions, are used to being there, and now a little harder to knock them off the top.
Shankovic, Kerr, and surely there it is for Chelsea. It's not taken them long. Strong header from Fisk away. They haven't cleared their lines. Time for Harder. Goal for Harder. Corner comes in, and Arnold's got something on that. And a follow-up is there for Ingle. And Chelsea really cooking now. Turn is sharp, and she's laid it back. Copper! Oh, the power behind that. A third time lucky with a long-range strike tonight. In the 93rd minute as well.
Yeah, the old thunderbolt from Erin Cuthbert to make it 4-0 on the night for Chelsea, heading top of the WSL table by 2 points. Look at that, 20 shots to 5, 7 of those on target to 2, dominating possession and those passes in the final third as well. 4-0 win for Chelsea. Fern Whelan and Karen Carney here to talk all things Chelsea, as is the Chelsea boss Emma Hayes, who joins us live on Sky Sports. Hi Emma, congratulations.
Cheers, nice music in the studio.
Yeah, we love to provide a bit of a groove along. They're going to want to talk to you about the goals, but can I talk to you about that block from Jess Carter, just to be that tuned in, that late in the match as well? How pleased were you with the defensive side of things tonight as well?
Yeah, I mean, we want to keep a clean sheet. That's important for us, and something I think we've done really well the last half a dozen games. We've been really solid defensively, so yeah, happy to keep the clean sheet.
Hi Emma. Off the back of that, obviously what Caroline just said in terms of the clean sheet, but you've now got 4 different goal scorers as well tonight, so just how pleased were you with the overall performance, especially coming off the back of an FA Cup win and then a tight turnaround for tonight's game?
Yeah, I mean, we got an early goal, which really helped, but we didn't build on it. I thought we really struggled in terms of creating the overload the way we wanted to. We had to adjust a couple of things at half-time, but the players took that on board and we were much better with that. Of course, when you make changes, I had a feeling Erin Cuthbert would be in and around the box just to pull the trigger. As I've said before, Pernille Harder, we need to look after her and her hamstrings, so 60 minutes was enough for her, and glad that Erin got the fourth one at the end, because I think that might be important.
Emma, I've got 2 questions for you. You mentioned there about goal difference or the importance of goals. It's a +3 now. Was that a message to the rest of to your team at half-time about one's not enough, we need and we want more?
Do you know what? I don't talk about them, Kaz, because normally over the years, whenever you say that, the team then goes out and they don't score another goal. So I don't talk about goals, talk about performance and making tactical adjustments where they needed to be made. And of course, finishers came in and hoped that they would create and build upon the chances that the team had done in the first half. But look, once again, good squad effort, because we're playing so many games back to back. We need every single player at the minute.
Sorry, by the way, I meant +4. But my second question then was just, you've made 75 changes to your starting 11 this season. How do you get that consistency when actually some managers might go, actually that ruins my fluidity? And how do you keep players on their toes and ensuring that you are top of the table at this moment with all those changes?
Because we've got clear playing principles and they're worked on all of the time in the training ground, and we train everyone in position all of the time. So no matter what they're doing, they're always training as themselves in their position, in and out of possession. Then the different combinations, like sometimes I'll put combinations of players together so that they get to build upon that, particularly in the build-up to a week. But for the most part, when you play the number of games we play, plus the international games, that's a lot of football for these players, and we need to be mindful. It's a high-intensity league, and you've seen we've been able to keep players on the pitch as a result of that methodology.
I think it's 27% of your matches you play in April and May, and you're winning 90% in that period as well. I try every time we speak to you to work out how this periodisation works, how you're so effective at it. You're still not going to tell me, are you? I can see you shaking your head.
You got to pay me a lot of money to tell you. So what do you think I'm going to give away? The crown jewels. These are the secrets to our success. So I'm not going to spill it out on national TV. Sorry, Caroline.
That's all right. I'll let you off. What you have talked about this week is the team behind the team, having sleep experts in. How important is it? Clearly, you've made that happen at Chelsea, but for the rest of the league, that we get this funding behind them, that all these teams have these resources available to them?
Look, everybody thinks they're full-time. Sometimes you just might have to spend time with a consultant, bring them in, they educate you, and then you can implement the strategies yourself. You know, we choose to invest in those areas and upskilling across the team, the performance team. But I've always said you have one manager in charge over 10 years. That helps because you can get the consistency in the methodology, because of course if another manager's there, they may want to do things completely differently. So I think for us, the keys are really just consistency.
You may not want to look, but we're going to show you the top of the table, which shows you on top. For such a long time this season, it's been Manchester United in terms of days that have been up there at the top. Will you be watching the Manchester Derby on Sunday night with us, where you could take it?
What time's our kick-off?
You're earlier in the day, so you've got plenty of time to get home, have a look, put your feet up.
Listen, I'm telling you now, my son will not let me. As much as I'd love to sit there, I'd have to watch it when he goes to bed, because there's no way he'll let me watch a second football match, sorry.
Is that because he's got a new trampoline to enjoy for his birthday?
And a Nerf gun and a bike, and I'm sure those things will be motoring around my house, and the thought of football on the television is his worst nightmare. I think he'll be firing at the screen.
Don't use them all at once. Don't use them all at once. Emma, well done tonight. Congratulations on going top, and we'll hopefully talk to you at the weekend.
Thanks, guys. See you later.
Thanks, Emma.
Yeah.
And happy birthday to Harry as well. She talks about using those resources in the right areas, which is easier said than done, isn't it? That using that 10 years to build up and to build this team around it. When we look at, say, Paul Konchesky at West Ham, you know, will he be here next season? To give that consistency and to build is so important for these teams.
Yeah, and I think, I'm not starting rumours, by the way, but you always worry that if Emma Hayes left, it would have the Alex Ferguson, the Arsene Wenger type of kind of repercussions that it would go, because consistency does matter. You know, you see it in men's football, we see it in women's football as well. You know, that culture is just like a train. It just keeps going, it doesn't stop, and you need the person driving it, and that's that person there. And you see it in men's football as well, you know, Man City, you know, manager that's experienced, been there, and they do it and they deliver it. And that's what everyone's trying to knock her off. And I think we talk about sleep strategies, you talk about motivating the players, but I don't know how or who motivates her, you know, to do it all the time.
She says she enjoys that challenge of trying to rebuild and go again, though, doesn't she?
Well, you have to, because otherwise if you stand still or you sit still, you know, football doesn't stand still, sit still. And you saw from this season, you look, you got Man United creeping up on you, you've got Arsenal, you know, chopping and changing, you know, they're doing their bits, and City have gone through a whole transition of building a new squad. Whether it will work for them, who's to say at the end of the season? We'll look at the table, but and with data as well, data is a way of massively catching up and making some strides. So yeah, we'll see at the end of the season, but you know, credit to Chelsea tonight, and like I said, 6 games in 19 days is not easy.
I alluded to it there, the number of days that Manchester United have spent top of the table compared to Chelsea. They go 105 to 84, Arsenal 51. It's the old cliche, it's who's there at the end of the season that counts as well. But if you're Manchester United looking at that tonight, I mean, they're in Europe, they're in that FA Cup final. Would you say that surely, you know, they want to go and win the league, but they'd be happy with what they've achieved this season?
I think definitely they obviously do want to go and win the league, and that's where they've been, and they've put themselves on that pedestal now. They want to compete with the top teams, and I think Mark Skinner said in a press conference not so long ago that the old him would say, yes, I'd be happy with that, but potentially not. I think he's really pushing himself and his players to really be the top and the cream of the crop. So I think they'll be disappointed, especially the way they went out on Sunday. And then going into the final stages now, they've been knocked off right at the last minute.
And why we all keep talking about goals is the fact that, you know, if they draw with Arsenal and Manchester United win, could all be level and down to goals at the end of the season. Brilliant, isn't it? Niamh Charles opened the scoring for Chelsea with Harder, Ingle and Cuthbert also on the score sheet as they won 4-0 at West Ham to go 2 points clear at the top. Player of the match, Johanna Rytting-Kaneryd, is with Jess.
Johanna, another 3 points. How much did you enjoy that out there today?
Really much. It was a fun game to play. I feel like the whole team had a good feeling from start, so yeah, really enjoyed it.
What's it like being part of this winning Chelsea side at the moment?
I mean, it's something else. I'm just enjoying every minute. I feel like we have a great culture in this team, and every training and every game we're working really hard. So yeah, I'm super happy.
2 matches to go, 2 more wins, and you will be WSL champions. What are you focused on between now and that next match against Arsenal?
I mean, now it's all about recovery and focus on what we can do against Arsenal. I mean, now we're in the top of the league and we want to stay there. So hard work, and then if we play like this, we have a good chance.
Congratulations, you are the Barclays WSL Player of the Match. There's your trophy.
Thank you, thank you.
Talked a lot about Rytting-Kaneryd in the last match here on Sky. She just gets on that consistency to be blooded into the squad as well and to be performing at this level. Just how impressed have you been with her this season?
Yeah, impressed. And obviously, as Emma's just said, that, you know, as they rotate so much when they're in training, they have the chance to be in the position that they're going to come into. So it's like they've never been away when they then come back onto the pitch. So actually, when she's been playing, you know, she's been brilliant, and she was involved in a lot of the goals tonight going forward. She was really direct, really positive. So yeah, she did well tonight.
Is that where they get the best out of her?
Yeah, I think when she's got space, and I think when they put her in, I think someone would drive at them and pull a defender out and slide her in, and I think she made some really good decisions in the final third and was heavily involved in the first 2 goals, and it's hard to break teams down, especially like how West Ham were today. But I really like her. She's got good energy, and straight away she mentioned culture and settling in, so it's another like shrewd signing from Chelsea, and fair play.
Should we have a little look at the goals? 4 in total tonight then for Chelsea. You've spoken about some of the older players in the team, but Niamh Charles is just one of those...
I didn't mention age.
No.
But
cultured players.
No, it was, like we mentioned, West Ham were really deep, and it was about causing chaos, really. But there was one moment where one player stood out and just saw something other people didn't. It was this pass here from Pernilla Harder, where she just opened up, and Kaneryd then opened the game up again. And then it falls to Niamh Charles, who doesn't miss from there, actually wing back, getting in higher positions. But this pass just opens up, and then you're causing chaos and havoc. They're dropping deeper and deeper, and then just can't clear their lines, and then that just sets the game up, really. And then it's about, can Chelsea go on and break them down? It didn't really happen for the rest of the game, but eventually they did in the last part of the game.
So first goal from Niamh Charles, and then followed by Pernilla Harder, who's just been... We've seen her explode over the last few games.
Yeah, we saw that, you know, fantastic defence split and pass from her, and then here, obviously, she's involved in the goal again. It comes back out to Niamh Charles on the edge of the box, and she just takes a look, fizzes it into the box, and then, obviously, Sophie Ingle with this fantastic pass. Again, it's what Kaz has just been talking about. It's the defence split and pass, so it's that eye to be able to get the ball through. We'll see it again here as it comes out to Sophie Ingle. It's really clever. She just sees the run there, and for Pernilla Harder to get this out of her feet, I thought she took one touch too many, but actually she gets out of her feet at the tightest angle and managed to finish it in the bottom corner. So, you know, she's in fantastic form, and she's topped it off with a goal here.
You're right about that form at the moment in the WSL. She kind of... We've spoken a lot about whether she'd come back earlier, the impact she could have had perhaps in the Champions League as well. But the form that she's in now, will that be the difference between now and the end of the season for Chelsea, do you think?
I mean, we did a run on it at the start of the show, Pernilla Harder, and just her energy and athleticism, and she was a difference in the cup final for me. You know, her and Ingle came on, Ingle gave control, but I think Pernilla there was the match-winning player. It just made something happen when you really needed it, and I think she's done that tonight. And it takes the pressure off Sam Kerr. You know, Sam Kerr's going to be the face of the World Cup. She's carried Chelsea majority of the season at times. It's just nice to take some pressure off Sam probably at this point. And that's why obviously Emma's saying there we need to protect her a little bit, obviously with the hamstring, but also because she knows how much they need her and how much they potentially will rely on her goals and her assists come towards the final 2 games of the season. Well, you say that. I mean, Ingle, who you spoke about, is scoring goals too. Yeah, it was class, but I'm going to give it to the defender who wanted to talk about the near post header, Fern. Yeah, I mean, it's a great corner here. But for me, it was the Magdalena Eriksson with the first contact. We'll see it again as it comes in. It's a near post, but it's really clever movement just to get in and across the defender, and she'll have worked on that. And then Sophie Ingle just reacts first. Again, you see it a little bit here. Comes in, flicks it across, drops. Potentially Mackenzie Arnold, could she have done a little bit better, really? It comes at her late. But Sophie Ingle reacts first, jumps higher, and you know she obviously had the assist for there, but then she gets her goal. I'm laughing because you came to me to talk about heading. It's definitely not one of my strengths. Well, you've only done that because you want to talk about a thronker from Erin Cuthbert, right? Potentially, yeah. I mean, Emma Hayes mentioned about bringing her on and she'll just shoot from outside the box. And again, it's because when teams are so deep, sometimes you just have to do this. You're just going to unleash something, you know. And to be fair to her, the pace and the power and the venom. I'm not sure whether the goalkeeper was slightly unsighted, whether she could do anything about it, but look, bang, hits it, just pace, couldn't really do nothing about it, and that's what Erin Cuthbert's got. You know, she's a natural attacking-minded player, playing a little bit deeper this season, probably not the position Emma would ideally want her in. She'd want her in these positions throughout the season, but comes in and does a job, and then it's a brilliant finish, and again, those goals will matter, or she says she doesn't talk about it, and I probably understand why, but in her head, they're vital. She'll know. You can hear from Paul Konchesky on Sky Sports News and across social as well. For West Ham now, they haven't won this year. Should he be worrying, or do you think he will be worrying about his job? I mean, if he hasn't, you know, he's not gone now, so I don't think he will potentially be worrying about his job. But for me, the form that they're in is really poor. They've, 10 games without a win is worse than some of the teams below them who are in relegation positions. So, they've got a lot of work to do. Coming the back end, they should potentially be safe. One more point they need to retain the place in WSL. But I think going into next season, off the pitch is going to matter. I think what they do recruitment-wise is going to make a massive difference, because it's obviously just not being good enough. Considering the start they had to the season and the run of games and the wins they went on, it's really been disappointing, the run of form they're in at the minute. Which goes back to the whole conversation we were having about Emma Hayes giving managers time, what they can do and settling in as well. So more West Ham discussion across Sky Sports News then. Up next, we're turning our attentions to our first match of the night, which saw a win for Arsenal. Manchester, we're coming for you the penultimate weekend of the WSL. May the 21st, 6:30, will be in Manchester for the derby. 2 matches for you tonight, and it started with a 4-1 win for Arsenal at Everton earlier on this evening. It was a match marred, though, by an injury to Leah Vulty. Let's hear from the Arsenal boss, Jonas Eideveld, speaking to Lindsay Hooper.
Jonas, Everton wanting to persist, keeping possession at the back. Did that play right into your hands?
Like I said before, you need to be very good with your pressing, because it's a fine balance between you being successful and winning the ball, or they being successful playing out of the press. So they're a challenging team to play against if you don't get your pressing detail right. And we got it right enough times in the first half in order to get a good result.
4-0 up at half-time. Did you think that the game was already done then?
I never do. I prefer us to play the whole 90 minutes.
And let's talk about the injury to Leah Vulty, because it's come off the back of the week where you've announced a new contract for her as well. And I've lost track of the amount of times that I've been stood here talking to you about injuries this season. What was your reaction, first of all, to the injury?
We can all see it's a reckless challenge, and it hits our player really, really badly. And of course, we're really sorry for losing Leah, probably for some time. We need to assess it, of course, but we also think about her. She also have a World Cup to play in the summer, so there is, of course, a lot of emotions and thoughts going into here, and then we need to keep on going as a group. Like, we've handled challenges and adversity before this season, and we need to do that again. It's 2 more games to go, and yeah, it's just very unfortunate. I know that there's zero intention of the Everton player for having that outcome. I understand that also. It's just reckless, and sometimes that happens when you go in with too much pace.
All of these top players, does it feel a bit cruel?
I don't think you can think about things like that, because then you think that things are happening for a reason, and I don't. It's of course very, very unfortunate. This injury here is very different to other injuries that we have got during the season. So we just need to keep thinking next match, keep thinking solutions, but of course also keep giving the best possible support to Wally.
You got one player back in Caitlin Ford, and Steph Catley as well came off the bench. In terms of Ford's impact, she got that opening goal. You couldn't have asked much more from her.
No, she was very good today. She took off right where she left when she got injured by City, so that was very nice to see.
I wanted to ask you about the huddle as well. After the injury happened, I noticed how everyone came together, all the players. It feels like they self-govern. Can you comment on that? Are they a self-governing team?
I think they have a really high level of communication. We have come that far to be as mature as a team that we know what principles and values that we want to have, but it was clear that we needed to focus up again after Wally's injury. That of course it takes an emotional toll on the other teammates to see a teammate go down that we care so much about, but I think we managed okay to refocus. I don't think our performance is particularly strong today, but the result is good, and but we know we need to be much better here on Sunday against Chelsea.
Finally, how do you leave here, Jonas? What's your emotional state?
Happy to win a football match. A little disappointed with our performance. I'm really sorry about Leah Walty. We're allowed to feel that today, and then we're going to focus up to Chelsea on Sunday.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Cheers.
Yeah, distressing moment for everyone involved. Aggie Beaver-Jones, who was given that straight red, has been on Instagram apologising tonight, and of course sending her love to Leah Walty. It was distressing, but seeing that team come together, Fern, in that moment, Lindsay was right. They all pulled together, had that moment just to regroup, because it can be so difficult after such a bad injury.
Yeah, definitely. I think you could see it there in the huddle, certainly, like Jennifer Beattie stepping up, Katie McCabe stepping up and kind of, trying to galvanise everyone and saying, look, we'll have time after the game to think about that and address what's just happened. But right now we've got a game to play, and we kind of, we need to switch on and be in it as a team and be in it together, really. And that's probably what pulled them through to kind of get to the end, the fact that they are in this together, and they keep seeing these moments occur in front of their eyes. And as you say, it must be really distressing for them and quite emotional. So yeah, as you say, the performance potentially wasn't the best for them in the second half, but to come out the back of it after what they've just seen, it must have been tough for them.
We've spoken at length on Three Players in a podcast with Jen Beattie about the mental resilience of this team and what they've had to go through this season. It is Mental Health Awareness Week, Karen, and it's so important, isn't it, in this moment that players do have the opportunity to talk about what they're going through in such pressure moments towards the end of a season as well.
Yeah, because I think at the end of the day, sometimes it's weird because football is put on a platform and a pedestal, and you see these superheroes and you think they are so different to any other person in the world, but yet they're actually doing their job on a football pitch, but they're humans. They don't want to make mistakes. They want to go and play with their mates, and they want to be the best version that they can. But that it is important to talk about these issues, and it's tough to have these conversations and to to say that, yes, they are super athletes, but they're not superhumans. And there's a real big difference there. And it takes bravery to speak out. And it's been tough for Arsenal, and I'm sure it'll be tough for Aggie Beever-Jones as well, because no human wants that to happen to anybody. And yeah, we just hope that Leah Volti recovers and recovers well. We don't know the extent of it, but we hope that she's okay. But it is Mental Health Week, and we need to be kind to each other, and everyone is just a human being.
Well said. And on that note, tomorrow night on Sky Sports Premier League, we've got a special show that I want to point you towards, all about tackling the stigma.
As I always say, you're professional football, what problems have you got?
Everyone's going through different stuff.
It's like the elephant in the room. No one wants to talk about it.
If you want to win at all costs, you can't really be kind.
I didn't think I had a problem. I just thought everyone else had the problem.
It'll be like a ticking time bomb that will go off eventually.
You try to control your emotion, but it's just building, and then suddenly...
Tackling the stigma tomorrow at 10:30. Fern, I know you have had an injury, an ACL, and you're one of a number of players that have had that injury when you have so much time out and away from the game. Who do you lean on in these times, and what more do clubs need to do to make sure that you feel supported?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. It's really tough when you go through such an injury, which is long term, and it puts you out for a long period of time, because you kind of lose your sense of purpose a little bit. You lose a little bit of your identity, because you're getting paid to do something, but you're not actually physically being able to do your job. So it's really hard to stay engaged on a day-to-day basis. And when you are going through it, your teammates are massive. They're the ones who kind of lift you up every day. If you're in the gym, they're coming in, checking in on you, kind of thing. You've got your manager. I personally relied on a counsellor while I was going through that type of stuff, and I think it is really important that if you are kind of struggling, you speak up and you talk about it and kind of not bottle things up. And I think that's what I kind of learned as I went through my career, that those days when you are having down days, it's okay, because you're going to have people around you to pick you up. And I relied heavily on teammates, family, friends to really get me through stuff like that. So I do think it is really important to be able to speak and be able to have someone to lean on.
That team become the extended family?
Massively.
Are those, with your PFA hat on and the work that you've done too, are those conversations happening more within dressing rooms now?
Within dressing rooms and with also externally. I think you'll have seen in the video, there's Michael Bennett, who's head of mental health and wellbeing at the PFA, who I work with. And, internally, every team now at the WSL has to have a player welfare support on board going forward from next season, which I think is going to be massive. Someone that the players can trust, someone they can go to with any issues. And then if they need to, they can come externally from sources from the PFA. So it's just players knowing that they've got that support and that wraparound arm around them, should they need it. And, they might not feel like they do, but it's knowing that it's there and they've got someone they can always go to.
Thank you. As you said, Karen, we're all human, right? We're all human. All right, thank you for your company tonight. Do watch that tomorrow night, Tackling the Stigma. But here's what's coming up with us across the next few days then. We have the climax to the WSL, that Manchester derby, penultimate weekend, and then the final day. Wherever the drama goes, we go with it too. We had a double dose of the action tonight for you, and it's Chelsea who come out on top form. Good night.
Tell me why you started a fire. It's burning up in my head. Why do I always tell myself that it's